Hey guys, Amy White with Worthy Written Words, and today we're going to learn about how to make this Build Your Fortifications kit, which is found in 3rd Nephi chapters 3 and 4 in your Book of Mormon. So the first thing what we're going to do is use these Puritaki watercolors and the light blue color, and I'll list the details of which one exactly it is that I use below in the video description. And I cover both pages with this light blue. I put a piece of scrap paper underneath just to help protect so I can go off, but it does not bleed through. You don't even need to use a gesso unless that's something that you are really worried about. It might make you feel better, but because I'm doing it so light, it didn't even bleed through. And you don't want it to be too dark because then it'll be too distracting. We just want a really light, simple background. And I dry that just to make it faster, and I do it on each side of the page. And you don't have to use the same watercolors. You can use whatever watercolors that you have. Or you can use watercolor pencils or colored pencils or crayons even. Whatever you have in your arsenal that you want to use will work fine. Getting the 2 sticker pages out of your kit, you'll see that you have several stickers that are meant to build towers with and some that are castle walls. So you can see the ones that one might need to be cut in half if you're putting it in our book, or it might work in a line upon line just the way it is. So I'm going to start with the tower, and I'm going to start at the top of the page working my way down so that I can space it out correctly. You might have a different book than I do, so by starting at the top, you know exactly how much room you have as you layer your tower pieces on your way down. And the bottom tower pieces, I put the 3D foam squares on so that it will pop off the page. So right here I'm kind of lining them all up, but then I'm going to take that off and I'm going to apply the foam stickers to it. And I do it on both of my towers on each side of my margins. There's lots of options for you to choose from. You don't have to make it look exactly the way mine is, especially on the size of your margins. Whatever is too big, I just cut off the bottom. But I put the wall pieces along the bottom, and the footnotes on this particular page in my book are super small, so I have to cut a lot of that sticker off. And then there's flags you can choose from. I'm going to use a long green one, but there's purple ones and red ones and yellow ones. So you can really make it your own little castle fortress. I'm going to leave room for the princess to be, so I have to have these ones more off the side of the margin instead of in the middle of the margin. So you can see after I put this tower top on. I pick one of these little, I don't even know what you call them, little pop outs, and I stick the princess on there. And if you don't make enough room, then she'll end up covering up the words. But there's 3 different princesses that you can choose from. Bunch of different towers. This one has the door, and I don't want it covering up my words, so I just cut the extra side tower pieces off. And then I'm just using a random wall piece. You can see I'm cutting that out there to fill in the gaps. And when it's all done, it just blends in, and you can't even tell that I Mod Podged it together, or pieced it together. So, and then I'm going to put this little shield and a crown on top of my tower just for decoration purposes. And then I add a flagpole to the top of this tower so that I can add another flag. And the quote is not going to fit because I didn't leave room. You could take one tower off and put a quote there instead. But what I ended up doing is I just trimmed the quote into even pieces so that I could put it across the top of my page. It looks a little bit disjointed, but I think when I doodle them all together at the end, then it kind of brings it together more. And the trees, I add the 3D foam stickers to. I don't do it with like most of the bushes, but again, this is your own work of art, so you can do it however you want. So this is just kind of giving you ideas of how I did mine. Now I'm going to use a regular Jelly Roll black pen, and I'm going to outline the crown and the shield just so that they pop a little more off the page so they don't blend in as much. And I'm also going to use that to outline the quote at the top of the page, as well as the scripture verses that I thought were important in these two chapters about building your fortifications and how the Nephites were doing that. I'm going to use a light board and the traceable, and I'm going to trace this little quote or text onto the top margin. I cannot recommend a light board because the one I have I hate and it constantly shorts out. So I won't leave a link for that because I would recommend using something else. You can use an iPad if you need to. And here I'm using a black glaze pen, which is a little bit different than your Jelly Roll pen. It has a 3D effect and it takes a minute to dry, but it's my favorite pen ever and I love using it, and I use it in almost every single kit. So I put that on. If you like your own handwriting, you can do your own handwriting instead of that. But that's pretty much it. After outlining these scripture verses, then this page will be done. I hope you enjoyed this kit. I thought it was a lot of fun to kind of be creative and decide what you wanted things to look like. And I hope that you can think about the best ways to prepare your family, your home, your testimony right now to survive the days coming up. And I forgot to video, but I added a tab at the top of my page just using some, either a glue stick or double-sided sticky tape will work. And that's it. Our layout is done. See you guys next time.